proceed. Okay, so tell me a little bit
Okay.
about the challenge you are facing with procrastination.
Um, it has always been a challenge for me, and I think it's something I didn't really realize I was doing until a couple years ago. It was almost just innate to procrastinate. Um, and once I started becoming aware of how much I was preventing myself from moving forward or reaching goals or even setting goals, really. Um, once I became aware of it, it almost became harder in a way. Knowing I was procrastinating and not knowing how to break that cycle
Mm,
um, uh, almost stifled me more
okay, okay,
in a way.
okay,
I have been doing better with it for sure. I have found ways to get out of it. I'm an overthinker, so I think that's the biggest challenge that I face with it is if I give myself any room to if I want to do something or I need to do something that I don't necessarily want to do, if I give myself any amount of time to think about it, I will think myself out of it.
okay,
And then I end up with anxiety because I didn't do the thing.
okay,
And then the anxiety prevents me from trying again, and then it's a perpetual cycle.
okay, okay. So
So,
would the procrastination be on big decisions or small decisions or everything?
I would say everything. I tend to um, I'm the type of person who, like I said, I overthink everything, and little things feel like big things.
Mm,
Little things that people who aren't anxious can just do. Um, they feels like a big thing to me, and then once I finally do it, I realize, oh my goodness, that was no big deal.
yeah,
But almost everything, feels big to
yeah.
me,
Okay.
even when it's not. So.
Okay, all right. Okay. So I'm gonna go right into this, in this coaching. Tell me whether what I'm saying resonates with you. Now,
Okay.
whenever we procrastinate, it's not because we are lazy or that it's part of our personality or that we're built that way. All right. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily so. But usually, a lot of these things come from our childhood where
Mhm.
we didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
So if you did not feel safe growing up and you did not get validation, you did not get the support that you're looking for, everything feels big. Everything
Yes.
feels difficult. Everything
Mhm.
feels like it's dangerous. Even
Mhm.
though logically you know it's not. But the feeling, the body feels that this is not safe. So I'm not going
Yeah.
to do it. Right? I know my mind goes like, okay, it is easy enough to do. I just need to do this, do that, and do that. The
Mhm.
body holds back and the body says, no, it doesn't feel safe. And so you go into procrastination. So the
Mhm.
procrastination is not a personality type, right? So it's not that you are
Mhm.
even like a bad person or a lazy person. Not at all.
Sure.
Okay. It's
Mhm.
about feeling safe. So, a quick exercise to help you to learn how, I mean, this is just the first step, right? But you can take this first
Mhm.
step to go further in your journey, in your personal development. And with practice, you will begin to feel much safer within your own body, within your own being, so that when you are making a decision and you want to do something, you bring yourself back into the space that I'm going to teach you right now. All right. So, do you meditate, Leanna?
I try.
Okay. Okay.
My
So,
mind wanders, so but I do try. pretty
Okay.
regularly, I'd say I attempt.
Okay. All right. That's good. So to start in meditation, it's important to know how to ground,
Hmm.
grounding our energies. So all you need to do, like for the next 10 seconds, right? We just go 10 seconds at a time, right? Next 10 seconds is you just feel your feet firmly connected with the earth. And if you don't have your feet connected with the earth, if you're sitting on the ground, just feel your bum, right? Just connected with the earth, right? And you allow the energies of the earth, you can feel the energy or the currents to come up through your legs or through your butt, right? Through your base chakra, going up your spine. All right. Just feel that connection. Feel completely in your body, right? Be aware of how that leg, the legs feel. Be aware of how the feet feels touching the ground. Be aware of how your hips, whether you have weight equally distributed on both cheekbones, right? And be aware of your spine, be aware of how your shoulders are, and they should be relaxed, right? And feel an expansion in your chest as you sit, being very grounded. Okay. And then you tell yourself, you can put your hands on your chest, you tell yourself, I'm here now, I'm showing up for myself now. Taking a deep breath. I'm showing up for myself right now.
I'm showing up for myself right now.
And I am safe now
And I am safe now
because I'm completely here.
because I am completely here.
All of me,
All of me,
from my past, present, and future,
from my past, present, and future,
are all here now.
are all here now.
Okay. So tell me what you feel as you are in your body right now. Do you feel safe? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel any emotion? Whatever you feel, let me know.
Um, I'd say safe and anxious
Okay.
at the same time.
Okay.
A little
Yeah,
bit of both.
yeah. The two can happen at the same time, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the anxiety is usually about fear of the future, right? You're not
Mm-hmm.
sure what the future is going to bring, and so the anxiety comes up. So this practice that I'm teaching you, simple, right? It seems so simple, but if you are able to do it every day and get to a point where the anxiety subsides, where you feel completely safe. Your mind is not traveling to the future. You're completely in your body and you're feeling fully in your body. You're not escaping. You're not trying to leave your body, right? So when we are anxious, what happens is we are leaving the body. That's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
When we are worried, when we're anxious, we are actually not grounded. Okay, because our mind has gone into the future thinking about, oh, what if, what if, what if. So we're not completely here, we're not completely present.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to feel safe in our body and is to be in the present moment completely. And that's when you feel safe. And when you feel safe, it is the point of safety. It is at that point of safety where you make a decision. For example, you've been procrastinating on a particular decision that you know that you need to make. So you get yourself to the point where you feel there's no anxiety, there is no energies or no memories of the past coming up to tell you you're not good enough. None of that. You're here, completely present, breathing, being in the body, being conscious of yourself in your body. When we are completely 100% here and now, where we're not in the past, not in the future, we feel safe. Okay. So
Makes
this is a
sense.
practice that I would recommend that you do. And when you feel safe, that's when you know how to make a decision. That's
Mhm.
when you know your body will tell you whether the decision is right or not for you. And it's simply by being in the present moment. Okay. It sounds too simple, but the exercise of doing it is challenging because
Yeah, I
then
believe that.
you have to overcome the procrastination of sitting down and doing
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah,
So all
sure.
you need really is to remind yourself, I just need to do this for 5 seconds,
Mhm.
right? So you do it for 5 seconds. You say, okay, this feels good. I think I can continue for another 10 seconds. So you count 1,000, 2,000, 3,000,
Mhm.
right? You count. And then when you hit 10 seconds, you still feel you're grounded, you still feel that you are safe. You continue with that, being in that space. Now, if after 10 seconds, your mind goes, what if this doesn't work? What if, or what am I going to eat today? Or whatever, right? Comes to your mind, then you stop. All right. When we try to get into a space of safety in the body, it is important that we do not add the added stress like, oh, why can't you do it for 10 more seconds? Or why
Mhm.
can't you just hold it
Yeah.
for 30? We don't want to go into this self blame. We just go, okay, today is just 10 seconds. That's all I can do today. But I tried, right? So the
Mhm.
important thing is to do that. So when you get into a space where you feel completely in the present and you feel completely safe, you will find that procrastination is not even an option. Naturally, you will go into a space where you feel like this feels like a decision I can go with. Okay. So I like you, for the benefit of this coaching, right? I'd
Mhm.
like you to think of a particular decision that you've been procrastinating on and that you've been maybe thinking of doing. Or maybe it could be a small task or not necessarily a decision. Is there
Um,
something that you've been holding on to?
um, yeah, I guess this is honestly kind of odd timing because the past couple days I've actually like made a list and been and just done it. Given
Nice.
myself, so which is rare. So it's kind of odd timing because I just knocked out a bunch of stuff that I've been procrastinating on.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything on my list that I didn't
Yeah. No, but tell me,
go
what
through.
changed? What made you make that list?
Um, I make lists all the time.
Okay.
And they so I'll mark off a little bit and then and I'll do the easier things and then the harder things or the things that feel like a little scary or whatever. I tend to say, oh well, I'm a little hungry, so I better get something to eat first, or oh, I need to get gas in my car, and without intentionally finding other things to do. I do it, and then I look back and realize it. And I think I just got tired of it, and I was feeling really, really anxious last night, especially. I was having a hard time sleeping, and I realized it was because of all the things, and my mind was bouncing from this one thing to this other thing to this next thing, and the what ifs. And so I just did it today, and some of it yesterday, and yeah, I think I just realized that I was keeping myself from sleeping and resting and relaxing, and I was going to drive myself crazy if I didn't
Okay. Okay.
just do it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So it's almost like you were in a pressure cooker. Everything
Yeah.
is built
Mhm.
up, and it would get to
Yeah.
the point where you feel like if I don't do something, I'm gonna explode. And that's where
Mhm.
you then take action
Yeah.
to do the
Yes.
things that you want to do. Now, that is a cycle or a pattern that is obviously not very healthy for you in the long term. It's
Right.
not sustainable, right?
Right.
Um, so we want to break that pattern as well, right? Of being in a pressure
Yeah.
cooker. So think of a time, you don't have to share the details here, but think of a time when you were young where you felt the similar pressure cooker
Okay.
as a child,
Mhm.
right? Think of that time where that pressure cooker feels so unbearable
Mhm.
and that you wanted to just get out of it, but
Mhm.
you couldn't because you were
Mhm.
young, you were a child.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Where is that feeling that you're feeling in your body
Um,
when we talk about pressure cooker?
um, chest,
Okay.
uh, even my hands a little bit, kind of this like tingly,
Mm.
like an out of control type feeling in my hands and fingers. But chest, a little bit in my stomach,
Okay.
my neck and shoulder muscles for sure.
Okay. What about the throat? Did it
Yeah,
tighten?
yeah, actually, yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So these sensations are memories from the past, and I mean we have memories recorded in our brain, right? As a
Hmm.
visual or a a audio memory even.
Mm.
And we can easily tell ourselves that we can wipe them out by doing affirmations and all that. But the body memory is
Yes,
quite a different game, right?
I
So,
I actually just started reading "The Body Keeps the Score."
oh yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
and
Right.
I'm doing work with my therapist on this exact subject as well. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Okay, excellent. So I would encourage you to keep working on that and
Mhm.
I mean, the fact that you can feel where the sensations are, it's a good
Mhm.
thing because then
Mhm.
you are able to process through the feelings
Right.
and the emotions that may come with it.
Mhm.
Because most people get so numb that they can't even feel what it feels like in the body. And that
Mm.
is, you know, a monster altogether because that gets really challenging because they can't even feel it in the body.
Sure.
So now that you are aware and you can feel it in the body, I would say that the next step for you is to, I guess you work with your therapist on this and see whether your therapist can hold space for you where you focus on one part of the body at a time. And let's say you want to focus on the throat, right? So bring
Mhm.
yourself back to the situation that I mentioned earlier on where the all the sensations and all the feelings, right? Focus on the throat and see what comes up. Hold that space for 5 to 10 minutes and you feel the energy, the stuckness in the throat without attempting to do anything. You're not judging it, you're not giving meaning to it. All you want to do is feel it and see what comes out from that.
Okay.
Very often we want to override something, we want to heal, we want to cure, we want to give it meaning, and it
Mhm.
doesn't, when we do that, the body doesn't have an opportunity to express what it wants to express, right? Through the pain, through the tension. And if we hold space enough for those energies to just run its course. Let it just run its course. And when it does that, you will have a new realization. You will feel the loosening. And maybe you will also realize that there's been something you want to say, but you haven't said for a long
Mm.
time,
Okay.
right? Saying to the
Sure.
people, right? Your caregivers, like when you were young, right? Whatever
Mhm.
happened when you were young, maybe there were words that you wanted to say. You do not necessarily have to tell them, but to verbalize it and get it out of your system, that helps.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. So
Um,
feeling, yeah,
Question. So this is a new therapist and she's absolutely amazing. I'm really excited to work with her. We are going to be doing our first brain spotting session. I don't know if you're familiar with that,
no. Tell me
but it's
more.
um, I don't know exactly how she does it, but like I said, well, it's It's 2 hours,
Wow.
this Friday, so it's pretty intense, but it is, all about uncovering hidden, buried trauma,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
um, and, she said a lot of times people get sick.
Yeah.
There can be a lot of physical stuff that comes up with, when memories are
Yeah.
unleashed, things you didn't know
Yeah.
happened and things like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I'm just wondering if you think that we could incorporate that into that.
Yeah. Um, if you're gonna do that 2 hour session with your therapist, I would say go ahead with that. And then
Mhm.
from there, you see what's the next step that she's offering. Then I would say hold on to, or maybe I think maybe you can try. You try
Okay.
the throat exercise, right? Which I mentioned earlier on. You can try that because you have a few more days, right? 2 days before your
Yeah.
Friday, so that can help in your it can also help to kind of like release the pressure a little bit from whatever tension you may be holding.
Mhm.
And then when you go into your 2 hour session, you can feel like it can move in a way, in a
Sure.
direction that may be more effective. So you can try
Okay.
that out and see.
Okay.
I don't think that it's going to interfere in the because they're both. It sounds almost similar. I'm not sure whether your therapist is going to go into the body bit, but everything is connected anyway.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, so let's try that out for the next 2 days and see.
Okay.
After the therapy session, it may take you further, right?
Mhm.
But when I feel like you kind of know why you are procrastinating, but you may not necessarily um, know the process of moving out from that.
Right. Yeah, because I don't catch it when I'm doing it a lot of the
Yeah,
times.
yeah. So you are aware that the body is holding you back. Okay, that's
Mhm.
the most important thing. And also to um, remind yourself that it is not because all the things that people say about people who procrastinate, right? Like you're lazy, you're whatever, right? All these things, to wipe them out and to know that it's the body holding you back, right? The body is holding on to certain pain, and the body is trying to tell you something, right?
Mhm.
And
Right.
so through the session that you will have, I'm sure you will have certain realization as to, what the body is trying to do. Essentially, our body is amazing machine, right? Because it's constantly trying to help us to stay safe. But sometimes
Mhm.
it does it in a way that sabotages us because it doesn't know,
Right.
right? That it
Right.
is now safe. So we have to train it. We have to retrain it to understand what is safety.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a question?
Um, no, not right now.
Okay. All right. So when you do the 5 seconds, the 10 seconds practice of feeling safe in your body, um, do it in increasing time, right? From 10 seconds, 20 seconds. And then from there, if you have another thing added to your list of things that you want to do, um, I would say keep that list going so that you know that, okay, this is the next thing I need to do, and I can do it today if I
Mhm.
choose to. When
Mhm.
I feel safe in my body, I can do it. You don't need to wait for the pressure cooker,
Right.
right?
Right.
Remind yourself, right? So when you have that list at the bottom of the list, you remind yourself, I don't need to wait for the pressure cooker.
Okay.
I can do it
I do
today
that.
when I feel safe. Right? So you have the power and ability to bring yourself into a safe space. It is not a problem at all. You have the ability to do that. And it's all in your breath. When you breathe in and out, right? When you take that in breath, you're bringing
Mhm.
all the magic and the power and the past and the future and all of you, your spirit and everything in. And when you breathe out, you're releasing all that doesn't serve you, right? So that's the magic of you. And that's the power of you. And that space, the in breath and the out breath, is being in the present moment. And I always tell my students and my clients this: whenever you are fully grounded and 100% in your body, you will never feel unsafe. Because it is at that moment, even if it lasts for a second, it is at that moment that you experience your full power, right? And so from 1 second, we extend to 5 seconds, and from 5 seconds, we extend to 10 seconds, right? And so we allow all of ourselves, right? It doesn't really matter what our spiritual beliefs are. You know, whatever religion we practice, whatever, where our spiritual affinity is, it really doesn't matter, because we all can breathe. And when we breathe, we know, right? Our breath is a powerful energy. And this mechanism of breathing reminds us of our power, actually, right? And when, you know, even when we watch cartoons or we watch fantasy movies, right? They usually like to, or fairies or angels, you know, like they, with a breath, they blow something magical happens, right? And so that
Right.
reminds us of the power within us. All right. So whenever you feel anxious, this is really, really good for anxiety as well. Whenever you feel anxious and your mind is running into the future, going to what if, how is this, you know, and you find your breath becoming shallow, you go back into that space. Deep breath. You are in control of your breath. When we're anxious and we take shallow breaths, we are not in control. We feel like, oh, the body is doing its own thing, right? It's just breathing very quickly. Take back control. Take a deep breath. Out breath, right? And then you will feel the safety. Okay. So,
Wonderful.
yeah. Let me know if you have more questions. Anything you want to expand
Mhm.
further on?
Nothing's coming to mind right off the bat. Of
Okay.
course, it'll probably be one of those things where 10 questions will come to me later tonight when I'm laying in bed, but
Yeah. So the same thing when you lay in bed, for example, where you can't get to sleep because the mind is very busy, try the breath, right?
Mhm.
Remind yourself, right? My in breath and my out breath puts me in control and I am safe, right? Again, falling asleep is another thing. We can fall asleep when we feel safe.
Mhm.
We don't, what is insomnia? Insomnia is not feeling safe. And that's why we are
Mhm.
not able to let go, right?
Mhm.
And drift. So
Mhm.
do the in breath and out breath and know that, okay, I'm building this safe space for me to drift and go to bed, to go to sleep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I
All
wish
right.
you the best in the session that you'll be having with your therapist.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah. And
I'm excited.
anytime. Yeah. And I hope that, you know, it all works well for you.